Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Welcome back to the show. Thank you so much for being here with Randy Swaim, our Coaching for Relevance. Really, he's an amazing person, coach, father, grandfather, author, you name it. There's many titles, but he's just a great person. I'm thankful that we're here today, the day before Thanksgiving, to have a show to talk more about the kind of person he is. He's very thankful, very grateful, very generous, and he's been helping so many people over the years to improve themselves in a nutshell. But just because, not even for a job, I mean, he's got so many other jobs, but it's because he really wants to. So go ahead, tell us a little bit about yourself for your introduction, and I'm thankful you're here today.
Well, thank you. Well, as you know, I'm a Marshall Goldsmith certified executive coach. I'm also a jet a pilot, and also basically train and certified jet pilots over at DFW Airport. And I'm also a master level neuroplastician with the Organizational Neuroscience Institute for Organizational Neuroscience in Germany. And I bring a lot of that to what I do, even with pilots or with people, to make them better and everything. And so I'm just honored by what I'm doing. And I'll share one thing in our talk today, just very, it was kind of cute and kind of interesting, but I'll go to that once we get going. But that's who I am. I know you and I have been connected for about 3 years now or something like that.
Wow.
And I'm honored to be connected with you and for us to be friends and all that. So I just honored to be on the show with you.
Thank you so much. And what did you want to dive into today for everyone?
Well, what I thought I would do today is talk a little bit about, because it's some aspects that sometimes managers don't realize, but it's a key aspect that's different from managing to leading your team. But it's really aligned with this concept that you just mentioned, because guess what? Tomorrow is Thanksgiving Day, for us and everything, and it's the Thanksgiving holiday. And what I was going to do is just kind of throw out the question to people that when you think of the word Thanksgiving, particularly when you're talking about your job and your role and your responsibilities, or maybe your journey, what is it that truly makes you thankful? And if you think about it, and I'll just mention this fairly quickly, but mention a few things on it sort of as we go. And of course, you can kind of throw out any thoughts or questions or whatever, but the bottom line is, as a leader, so often in today's world, managers are just trying to control people and tell them what to do and threaten them, or kind of speak evilly to them if they're not just doing what you want, and all that kind of stuff. Now the person should not step aside from doing what's right or what's called for, but on the other hand, if the manager is only saying, I want all of my people to do it just this way and just like me and all that, you may not be getting the job done if that's kind of your mindset. And so the question really becomes, for today's role, this is relevant to the holiday tomorrow, but when you look at your team and you look at you, and even with you and your senior managers above you that are your leaders and stuff, what does it take for your team to exhibit and experience and feel thankfulness and gratitude? And you know what? What does it take for you to feel that also? And it's just something to think about, that a lot of times people don't think in it. And because if you're connecting with your people in such a way that they just feel like you don't care about them and that they're just required to shut their brain off and just capitulate to what you say and da-da-da-da-da. Now, guess what? If it's life-threatening or if it's something that's real critical like that, yeah, they better kind of go with what you say. And there can be some times where the decision that the manager or leader makes needs to be followed. There are some times like that when great risky situations are at play or whatever. But the
Yeah.
bottom line is, if that's the only way the person is interacting, you're shutting off the system in your team that will make people feel gratitude, feel thankfulness, and and feel like they're getting thankfulness on it, and to feel like that inside of them they're really thankful that they're part of this team and it's going in the direction that we're going in. And so that is just something that a lot of people do not fully understand. And it's when they hear the word, they'll understand the phraseology of it, but to really get a sense of what that is, to create that aspect of thankfulness and oneness and really thing where your people are glad to be part of this team, kind of thing, and all that kind of stuff. And we're happy that we can get there. You know what? Even if the manager gets sick and goes into the hospital, we can still get there, kind of thing, and things of that nature. So when you think about this aspect of gratitude or thankfulness, of the feeling that your people have of being in the team, if the manager is doing nothing but just pointing fingers at them and dictating to them and threatening them and all this sort of stuff, and just shutting their brain off, if you think about it from a neuroscience standpoint, you're shutting off their processing and their ability to think and decide, and all of that. That can be a very negative thing for what you're really trying to accomplish. And in fact, if that happens, guess what? Your people are probably not going to achieve the radical results that you'd like to achieve, possibly. And in that, if the
Hmm.
manager is, uh, you know, connecting with them in a way that makes them shut all that off, guess what? If they get there, you can't just blame them, because guess what? You didn't help create this aspect that made them aligned to do that and to really want to do that and to make it happen and stuff. And so there's just aspects like that, that when you're talking about this aspect of that's sort of a central theme of tomorrow, for Thanksgiving Day and everything, if your people are really aligned, they feel synergistic.
Yeah.
And by the way, synergistic, being synergistic is not just doing the same thing everybody else would do. It's
Yeah.
not doing that. What it
Yeah.
is, it's thinking as a team inside of them, within their brain, within their heart, within what they're trying to accomplish and why they want to get there.
Mm.
There's a level of synergy there that a lot of people don't think about. It's not just about you threatening them or telling them what to do to get there and everything. And I'll tell you this, just as a simple thing. On Tuesday, I walked over to the airport because I was going to be helping out a client and stuff, and just sort of helping them out. And when I walked in, there's one office down on the bottom floor that has two ladies in it. And what they do is they go out. They're very
Mm.
nice ladies. They're very professional, but they go out and they set up the classrooms when a new group of clients are coming in and a new class is starting and things like that. They go through and set that up and stuff. But I like going by their office because when I see them, they know me and I know them. I just kind of go, hey, how's it going? Kind of thing. And they wave back and walk by. Well, this one time when I did that, over. And I went, okay, interesting. And so I still had some time. So I said, I'll just wait here for a
Yeah.
second. And she came over. And one of the things that she was telling me was that one of the other instructors and one of the other employees in the company had seen that 1.5 minute summary uh, video that's out there about my movie documentary. And I
Hmm.
think you at least know about it and stuff. It's been out there, and I posted it sometimes and all that. And she had watched it, and she came over and just commented amazingly well. And she said, "One thing I know, Randy." And I said, "What's that?" And I said, "I want to get that movie when it comes out." And I said, well, it's going to be coming out December 14th. She said, well, I'll tell you what, I will stay with it. I'll be looking for it and stuff, and I'll be getting it. And I said, well, I appreciate it. And I'm honored
Aw.
with that. But then she said this, but then she said this. She said, you know, Randy, I want to just share something with you. And I said, what's that? And she looked and nothing was, you know, friendly and all that. But she looked at me and she said, I've known you for quite a while here. And she said, I want, and other people have shared this with me too, but I'm amazed at just how you interact. So and um, uh, she said, I'm just honored to just say hi and to wave and to know you and all that. And I said, well, you know what, sister, I'm honored to know you as well. And I'm glad to that we connect as friends like that and stuff. And I said, you have my compliments. I appreciate that. And we kind of sort of shook hands and stuff. And then I went on up to get set up for the day and everything. But there's a degree when you're a true leader, there is a degree where people
Yeah.
don't just feel that you're controlling them. People have a sense of feeling inside that is true, thanksgivingness, true thankfulness, true gratitude for the fact that I'm here and I'm just a part of this. You know what? And that is not just because of what you control and you make happen as a leader. It's something that is within them, that in their experience it changes them and they become the kind of people you want working for your team. And so, when you think about this whole aspect of thankfulness and this, Thanksgiving aspect, which is aligned with tomorrow, you know, as a manager, if you want to be a true leader, you have to be aware and be ready to make sure that you know how you need to interact in a real way, not just dictating and controlling and all of this sort of stuff, but interacting in a truly aligned way and interacting in a way so that those people within themselves want to follow you. And a lot of people in societies around in today's world, think that the way that I get people to want to follow me is I'll go tell them a joke and let
Hmm.
them laugh and stuff like that, kind of thing. I'm sorry, that's not how that happens. People follow you this way because of and what is with working together with you. And and when you think about this aspect of creating this degree of thankfulness in what you're trying to achieve and accomplish in your team, um, that's a way to do it. And you got to realize that that's a little bit different than the way most people in today's world realize. And it's not just about dictating. It's not just about threatening. It's not just about, playing control freak games and stuff like that. If you if you connect with people in such a way that they want to follow you, you don't have to forcefully control them because guess what? When you bring out a certain concept, they're typically going to follow that because they trust you, they believe in you, they believe in the team, and they think it's going in the right direction and stuff. But it's again this aspect of thankfulness and this, like I said, the Thanksgiving tomorrow is a little bit different than the vast majority of people realize. And like I said, if you're not bringing that into your team in how you connect with them, then it's you're not getting the job done and you're not truly being a leader. You may be trying to become just a control freak, narcissistic manager, but that's not being a leader. And it's a lot different than a lot of people think about. So it's just something to think about. I thought I'd share here because it's aligned with the holiday tomorrow of Thanksgiving. But how do you really bring Thanksgiving into yourself? What if you're interacting with your team in such a way that they are not feeling like they want to follow you inside? They're just kind of closing their eyes and just doing what you tell them to do, you know what? If you are grateful on that, and if you have feel thankfulness on that, you are wrong, because that's not what you want in a real sense in terms of true success. And because, like I said, if you uh, get sick or have to go in the hospital and something comes up, can your team reach those radical success levels even if you're not there? And it's not just rote academic. That's what a lot of people don't realize. In organizational maneuverability aligned concept, not everything that comes on scene is rote academic. And you and I have chatted about that a few times a long time ago. But the bottom line is, it's not just about going to rote academic things and going crazy with it. It's about um, true awareness, true understanding, true situational awareness for the actual situation, even if you are not there because you're sick or because you're on vacation, who knows, kind of thing, kind of thing. And and so this aspect of thankfulness, how do you really need to, you need to, when you're leading your team and developing your people and the oneness in your team, that's more than just doing rote academic things or rote little superficial things. What that's doing is helping them get such a belief factor in what we're doing and how we're going to get there. And when challenging situations come on scene that we didn't expect, we can make that happen. Let's do it. Let's talk. Yeah, okay. Yeah, let's do it that way. Let's make this happen, kind of thing. And but when you're talking about this aspect of tomorrow's holiday of Thanksgiving, kind of thing, if your team reacts that way and goes to a higher level of success than you even anticipated, do you feel thankful?
Mhm.
Do you feel grateful? You know,
Yeah.
um, would they feel that way? You betcha. Particularly when you go applaud them and pat them on the back and verbally honor them in what they did, kind of thing. That is huge. But so often people don't think in that way. A lot of times in our um, society and all that. So it's just something to think about that a lot of people don't realize. And I brought it because, like I say, it's sort of aligned with this picture of tomorrow with the Thanksgiving holiday, kind of thing. And, what does it truly take? It's a deeper level of it than most people realize. A lot, I've seen managers, believe it or not, just tell a joke or something, and when somebody chuckles on it or whatever, they say, "Okay, I did it." Yeah. No, you didn't. That doesn't get you there. It makes them laugh for a second, but that but that doesn't mean that there is this level of thankfulness and thanksgiving and gratitude and this deeper level of oneness in the team and what you're doing. And so it's just something to think about when you think about that with it. And it's a good time of year with Thanksgiving holiday tomorrow. Um, it's a good way to just give some thought to that. And I offer that to the people that are listening of what do you need to do differently? What's a little bit different on how you want to interact with your team? When you look at your team, what are some ways that make you aware that you need to kind of improve this sometimes? And you know what?
Yeah.
Sometimes when you need to improve something, it's not about just dictating to them or threatening them or anything like that. It's about helping them uncover and see the truth
Yeah.
and the realism of it in such a way that they almost feel
Yeah.
thankfulness and gratitude, because guess what? They
Yeah.
feel like they came up with it. Now, you may have asked some right questions
Yeah.
that helped them get there, but you know what? It builds that sort of level of thankfulness and thanksgiving within them on what they're trying to accomplish. And so I just throw that out, that when it's very, like I said, it's only reason I bring it up is because it's very aligned with tomorrow's holiday, Thanksgiving and everything. But, as a manager for your team, what do you need to do differently to truly build within your team members this level of thankfulness within them?
Hmm.
And as a team, what do you need to do differently to bring a degree of thankfulness within yourself? And by the way, as a leader or manager, that doesn't happen just because you're trying to talk about yourself and pat yourself on the back. That's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about is this aspect within us that says, oh, you know what? Yeah, you know what? This is better. Yeah, we can do this better. And I can do this better. And you know what? I'll do this a little bit different next time. This is cool. You know, and that's where that sort of thankfulness and that Thanksgiving aspect can come from. But it's one aspect that when you're talking about leading your team, you got to be gaining clarity on how to bring that to your team and also how to build it within yourself a little bit, because it's not just you trying to talk to people and prove to them what you said, and it's not just about what you said, it's about what you're doing,
Yeah.
and and what are people experiencing with that. So it's just something to think about that. Like I said, I brought this one insight up because it's very just aligned with the holiday tomorrow, of Thanksgiving and everything. But it's a key aspect of Thanksgiving and appreciation and gratitude within your team of
Yeah.
what you're trying to accomplish and how you're getting there.
Ah,
But if all you're doing is dictating and threatening and in the look of your eyes when you're kind of pointing your finger at somebody and talking to them, guess what? You're not creating gratitude and
so true.
thankfulness with them. You're destroying it, and you don't want to do that. So it's a key aspect that sometimes
Yeah.
people don't think about. But it's like I said, I just bring it out because it's very aligned with the holiday tomorrow of Thanksgiving.
Aw. Good. Well, thank you so much. Wow. We still got 5 more minutes left, Randy. I'm not cutting you short, but great
Okay,
words of wisdom to think about today. And yeah, it makes you just, gosh, appreciate people and doing the right thing and being kind, being gracious in every form of life. Just you and I talking, walking into a store, not just business wise and leadership inside
that's
the
right.
job. It's just taking pride in being a good person and loving thy neighbor, taking care of thy neighbor, holding that door for someone. Just, it all goes hand in hand. I feel like if you're that person, in person, naturally, maybe not innately or just learned and acquired, but that carries through, you personally into your work life. And I just feel like those type of people with gratitude, with knowledge of, hey, maybe things haven't worked out in the past, but I've overcome this, and they really have had some trials and tribulations and overcame it, just can reflect more and better and just understand people better and be kinder to people, which of course I think just leads to success all around,
That's
not just in
right.
the workforce. Yeah.
And that is key. And it's interesting that you mentioned holding the door for someone. Whenever I go to the gas station or supermarket or whatever to get stuff, when I walk out and there's a girl coming up, I always hold the door for her. And everyone has had a unique look in her eyes when she said thank you. And I said, "You have a good day." She said, "You too," kind of thing. But it's like you said, it's not just about going with some rote academic thing. It's about learning how you're really going to build that
Yeah.
positive thankfulness and gratitude. Because I'll tell you what, if your team members or if anybody else that you're connecting with, even in your personal life, if there's anybody out there that's experiencing this aspect of you in reality,
Hmm.
guess what? They're going to want to connect with you. They're going to want to be a part of whatever's going on.
Yeah.
And that all comes from within them. It's not because you control it. You don't control it. But it's key, kind of like you implied.
Aw, thank you so much. All right. So, what are you going to be doing for Thanksgiving?
Well, I tell you what, right now I'm just going to be around here, but I think what we may do, I've got to get a call from them, but what we may do is be in getting together with the great grandkids and their parents and stuff like that, and trying to have a dinner and stuff. So we'll see how that goes, and if this schedule allows with what they're doing and all that. Um, but yeah, apart from that, just enjoying the time.
Good. Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, I'm going to my aunt's house later in the day, but the boys, we just want to cuddle tonight. We're going to watch like Home Alone, lay on the couch, and have like a little pajama party. And then in the morning, watch the parade. I just find that so exciting. I spent so many years in New York City, from living there, working there, covering the New York City parade, being back there at 2, 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
And that excitement is wonderful and great. But also, it's so nice to be in your bed just watching it. So I brought the kids
Yes,
to
it
the city
is.
to do that before, but now this is like, okay, yeah. You watch it on TV is just as good.
There you go. You're right, girl.
Aw,
Oh no, that's amazing. Well,
well,
listen, that's
thank
just what
you.
I was going to bring this time, and but it's just what I tell people that are listening. Just find ways of how you need to do it differently to truly inspire and build Thanksgiving and gratitude in each individual team member that's working for you.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Randy. Happy Thanksgiving to you. One more time, how do we contact you?
Well, happy Thanksgiving to you, my friend, too. But you can go to my website, homepage of coachingforrelevance.com, and go right to the bottom of the homepage, and it has my cell phone and my email on it. And anybody can reach out and connect with me if they want to just have a chat, and that's all. We'll do that. I'm not going
Perfect.
to necessarily give them a cold call, cold sales pitch or anything. But if somebody has a need, we can come up with something. But
Aw,
if somebody just wants to have a chat, we can do that.
perfect. Thank you so much. You have a fantastic day, and we'll talk again soon. Be grateful, be thankful. I'm grateful you are here as always. Appreciate you, and best of luck. Can't wait to see the movie, The Life Story of, coming soon.
Yeah,
Bye.
there you go. Take care, my friend. And you have a wonderful Thanksgiving with you and your sons too, okay?
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Let's go inside the mind of a 10-year-old.
I should have worn those earrings today. I like those earrings. Gabby has those awesome earrings. I need to ask her where she got those, but that's just what she would want me to do. I'll have Michaela ask her for me.
Buckle up, Sarah.
Yeah, but then Michaela will be like, why don't you just ask her yourself? That's just like Michaela.
Sarah, buckle up.
Michaela's such a great name. I wish I was called Michaela. There's like a dozen Sarahs in my class.
Hey, we're not hitting the road until you buckle up, honey.
Oh yeah, seatbelt. I forget sometimes because my brain is like busy, you know? I wonder if there's pizza at school today.
Sometimes it can be tough to get through to your kids, but it's not impossible. Always make sure they're wearing their seatbelts, even on short drives. Remember, you have the keys, you have the power. Never give up until they buckle up. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. Visit safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup for more information.